Hi, everyone. Welcome to Pendulum Friday on Monday. Um, your questions came in, and I wanted to answer them. And Joyce very generously offered to pull them together for me so that I could record this video for you, so you can see it on Monday morning, Monday the 12th, 11th, Monday the 11th. Yeah, I think I got that right. I'm really confused these days. In any case, let us get started here, shall we? I want to thank everyone who has been so supportive and so kind and so generous um, over this past week. Please remember that the Soulprint community is kind and generous and loving. And so we are kind and generous and loving to other people. And if we can't be, then we should just be quiet. Because I think that kind of energy just ramps things up, and honestly, it doesn't make it any better. All right. I got a couple of questions from Canada pertaining to Canada, so we're going to start with those. As a Canadian, I am very aware that we have some Trump wannabes right here in Canada, and this person is absolutely accurate. Is it likely that Polyev, that's the United Conservative Party, whatever guy, will attempt the same dirty tricks to steal our next federal election? Okay, no. Hold on. There we go. No. Um, we're just simply set up differently in Canada. And so it wouldn't be possible. Now, what is scary and is possible is that at this point, it is looking like he is going to, he is the leader of that Conservative Party. And as of right now, it looks like when the election comes around, which isn't for a while yet, um, he would win. So that then becomes a concern. I live in Alberta, as most of you know, and we have the premier that I often refer to as Donald Trump in heels. And she's doing her level best to sort of duplicate some of his behavior. It's not going over very well. And bottom line is that in the next election, she's going to be voted out. But for right now, we all have to kind of contend and deal with her. So, and the question is it possible that this is how Daniel Steele won the last provincial election? No. What happened in the last provincial election here in Alberta was that people were really angry with the NDP party, and they were just needing to get rid of Notley. So this is the thing, right? And I've said this before, and we're not the only country that does this. We tend in Canada to vote people out of office as opposed to into office. So will Canadians look and learn from the U.S. election? And you know what? This is a scary question, because what is it that they're looking at and what is it they're learning? Because on both sides of the equation, right? Ultra-conservative people have learned that if you become enough of a bully and aggressive enough and in everybody's face enough, you can sway the populace, the vote. And then on the other side of the equation are people who are going, oh my God, this is the most horrible thing that's ever happened to the United States. How does anybody recover from this? And so, not unlike in the United States, you've got this two very, very different opposing ideas and parties. My house is not on fire. If you've seen the smoke, I have an incense burning. I just thought it was maybe time to clear the room a little bit. Okay, so, all right. So, was there fraud in the November 2024 presidential election in the United States? Sorry, position this so that you can see it when I'm being lazy and have my hand in a lazy place. Okay, so that was a yes. And if so, will it be corrected? I'm getting a non-answer. And be cautious, because if there was fraud, it's a really open-ended question. Was it fraud committed by 100 people or 100,000 people? Okay, like, don't get all excited. I'm just so wanting to make sure that everybody keeps their feet on the ground and tries to stay as calm as all of us can. Okay. Is the Biden administration going to investigate the outcome of the 2024 election? Okay, that's a yes. So let's ask this. Has that investigation started? Yes. Um, this is the problem, right? Until November 5th, it was all about how safe and secure the election was. And so if it ended up not being safe and secure, they're going to have to figure out how such a breach could have happened. Now, was Elon Musk part of it? Well, I'm not going to say yes or no, but I'm going to say, yeah. All right. Assuming that the Biden administration investigates the fraud fully, question, will he have the courage to tell the American people? Okay, yeah. And will he do something about it now that he is immune from prosecution while in office? It's undetermined at this point. I don't know how many of you people know Scorpios, but you shouldn't mess with them. He's a Scorpio. So the thing is this, right? Whatever the end result ends up being, it's going to have to be handled very, very carefully. Because that literally could create a really warlike energy. Did Elon help Trump and Russia with Starlink? Yes. Will it be found out and their plot destroyed? I think it's already found out. I mean, I think most people know that there was a lot of help being given to Russia. And it makes no sense at all that he wouldn't extend that same help to Trump. But, the question is really, is even if there is a plot that is made incredibly public and everybody knows about it, will that actually be enough to create an environment where the election results can be investigated and changed? Okay, but it's a little yes, so no jumping in the street. Will Lincoln Project continue to have a vital mission into the foreseeable future? Yes. Will they continue to primarily support Democratic candidates in 26, 2028, and 30? Okay, well, 2026. Yeah. And 2028? And yeah. And 2030 is, I think, just too far out to get an answer, but let's ask. And in 2030? Yeah, no answer. Is Georgia Governor Brian Kemp still planning to run for the U.S. Senate in 2026? Yes. Okay. Is Governor Brian Kemp now planning to run for president in 2028. No. And I'm being told, literally, why would he want to have to come in and clean up the mess? Right? So, their question. Is Senator Georgia Senator John Osof likely to face a traditional Republican opponent in 2026? That's a no. Is he going to face a Trump Republican? Yes. Is that going to work out well for the Trump Republican? No. I'm just going to pause for a second. I got some pushback when I suggested that people needed to stop focusing on 4 horrible years with Trump and think about it in terms of 2 years. Because 2 years from now, you have the midterms. Between now and the midterms, is Trump going to be able to cancel elections going forward? No. Ooh, he's not. Smoke is getting to me. Will there be midterm elections in 2026? Yes. And as I have suggested, is that likely to swing both chambers of Congress to strong Democratic positions? Yes. So this is what I'm saying, right? Trump's got 2 years. He's going to give it his best. There's already lawyers all over the country starting to create, responses to lawsuits that are going to need to be filed to stop this guy, etc. He's not going to have. He's not. It's not. He's just going to walk in and change everything and destroy everything. He's not going to be able to do that. This is interesting. I saw. I don't know if it was on Midas Touch or it was on one of them. So apparently, as we all know, um, Mitch McConnell is stepping down from Senate leader in the new year. Well, what he's done is he's moved the vote for them to vote for their new leader. He's moved it for the 15th, like as in 4 days from now. And he's doing it by secret ballot. So what he's doing is he's setting up an opportunity for traditional Republicans to be able to vote for a more conservative leader of the parties. And John Cornyn is one of them, and I don't remember who the other one is, but the two names were like never Trumpers, okay? This is the thing. At this point, I think that McConnell is going to do what he can to try to minimize or limit Trump's power by perhaps maximizing some of the protections. So let's ask that. Is Mitch McConnell trying to do something to create some Republican resistance to Trump? Okay, yeah. To some degree, is it going to be successful? Yes. The other thing, I don't know if you guys have heard, but Biden has something like 200 judicial nominations that he's basically told Schumer to get passed and get it done before January 20th. So one of the things that's going on is Biden is flooding the courts with liberal judges. Now that Trump has won, will the elderly and disabled disabled be placed in a concentration camp? No. Again, um, you know, part of the way that people like him end up being able to exert their power is because everyone gets scared. And when you're scared, you're just sort of almost reacting instinctively and you're not kind of pushing back. But what's going to happen is that pretty soon a whole lot of the Republicans who voted for him are going to start to find that um, because they weren't paying any attention to Project 2025 and they were only listening to like the Tucker Carlsons and the Fox Newses of the world, they're going to start to figure out that there's a whole bunch of stuff in there that is really, really bad for them. And as a result of that, you're going to see um, shifts and changes in attitudes. There's going to be resistance for almost everything Trump does. It's important that everybody stay sort of calm and rational and thinking clearly, because all of us, including people in other countries like me, need to be part of that resistance. And if you're not, then he has a better chance of succeeding in accomplishing some of the stuff he wants to succeed and accomplish. Okay, so no, they're not, again, there's going to be enough pushback that he's not going to be able to round up everybody and stick them in a concentration camp. He's going to try, but it's not going to work. He's not going to get very far on that one. Will the former guy be sentenced on November 26th by Judge Marchand? No. And that's a great big disappointment to everybody. But as of right now, no, it looks like the Department of Justice is trying to figure out how to back away from all of the outstanding charges, etc. Because there's no point. There's no point sentencing him on the 26th for him to reverse it on January 20th, right? I mean, and that's exactly what he would do. Um, but let's ask this. Are there going to be ongoing and continual an ongoing and continual push for Trump to be impeached or investigated? So, bottom line here is that a lot of the stunts that the Republicans pulled are now going to come back on them. Maybe not as forcefully, but they will come back on them. Has the GOP revenge come because Lyndon Baines Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act in 1964? Okay, we have a very, very little yes there, so I think it might have been a component. Is the GOP revenge part of their racist views and their reaction to Barack Obama's becoming president? Yes. And is the other part of the GOP revenge because, generally speaking, old white men are scared of everybody else, up to and including women? Yes. There you have it. Trump has said several times, if he's back in the White House, there will never be another election. Will we be allowed to vote again? Yes. Strong yes. 2026 midterms. Is there going to be an election for that? Okay. And by 2028, will there be an election? Yes. Now, I mean, I don't want to burst anybody's balloon, but that can change. But as of right now, the pushback and the resistance is building strength. And he, as I said, he's just, don't let that kind of bullying, aggressive energy put you into a state of fear and panic. And I am not for 1 second minimizing the fact that there are a lot of people in the United States, honestly, who, based on Trump's behavior and what he said, has some real genuine reasons to be afraid. But that isn't that aggravates the problem. I think is what I'm trying to say. It creates more energy that honestly feeds in to the lower vibrational energy. Listen, there's no way to sugarcoat this. You're going to be in for a couple of really tough years. Frankly, so is the world, because he's going to start doing things that are going to impact all kinds of stuff. It's going to impact NATO. It's going to impact um, the Ukraine. It's going to impact what's going on in Israel and Gaza. But there will be pushback. Now, is everybody going to succeed at pushing back everything? Probably not. But it also means that we don't need to freeze in fear that every single thing he has said is going to come about. Um, that's just is near. I'm not getting energy that suggests that. And I have to tell you personally, my bigger concern is not what Trump's going to do, but what JD Vance is going to do when he's elevated to president, because of the two of them, he's the more dangerous because he at least has a functioning brain. So that's a concern. I think the final question, probably a lot of you want me to ask, um, and I wish I had a really good answer. And frankly, I wish I felt really confident in the answer, but I'll ask the question. Are the results of the 2024 presidential election going to be reversed? Okay, it's a little yes. We'll take it. All right. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for continuing to have some faith in Pendulum Fridays and this channel. So, couple things. I have scheduled a joint video with Kathy Beal, professional Aquarian astrology. In a couple of weeks. So we're going to let things kind of calm down a little bit, and then we're going to take a look at stuff. If you go to her channel, though, there have been some videos that have been done that you can find on her channel pertaining to astrologically what they think may or may not happen. There's a lot of talk about I think it's the full moon on the 15th, and some shifts and changes there. So feel free to tool over there. And hopefully at some point this week, I'm going to be releasing, as I said earlier, a video with Marcus talking about the Antichrist and basically how Trump ticks off all the boxes. So that's going to be really interesting, and that's going to be really fascinating. So that is going to be in the works. All right, listen. Everybody take care. Just continue to breathe. Relax your way through the panic. Do whatever you need to do to drum up a whole bunch of endorphins. Watch funny movies, bake cookies, laugh with your friends, whatever it is. Don't let that horrible feeling in the pit of your stomach and fear Don't let it have control, because then it will. And then you're going to have a much harder time than you're having right now. My thoughts, my prayers, and my love is extended to all of you. And I sincerely hope that there can be some sort of peaceful resolution and clarity about what happened. But until then, take care. Be well. Bye for now.